Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming today. It's great to see you and be back. We're excited about the 2023 season. I think there's a lot of positive energy in the air. I think for me personally, we've addressed the things as a program that we needed to address this year. So a few things to note for Gamecock softball. One, we've got a relatively new staff. Coach Josh Bloomer's on board. He was formerly the hitting coach at Duke. We certainly saw the success that Duke softball had from the offensive side. So I think our players are really benefiting from just the aggressive mindset and really how he's come in. And I think we're just going to be a more exciting and aggressive and balanced offense. So I'm really excited about that. Katie, Coach Crash Repley, is in her second season with us. And I think she's doing a fantastic job coaching the outfield, but really for us, it's about the recruiting, and she heads our recruiting efforts. And I think you're going to see some exciting things. We just signed 2 top 10 pitchers in the 23 class, but we're feeling her impact in her second year. And then Coach Kevin McGuire is our volunteer coach. I always say he's best known as Kenzie McGuire's dad. She was our shortstop for 6 years. And I think if you look at our roster, you'll see 2 players. One of the transfers, Brooke Blankenship, and then Julia Desidero, who he has coached. And you'll be impressed when you are able to see them on defense. But for me, Brooke Blankenship looks a lot like Kenzie McGuire. She has Kenzie McGuire flashes. I think the other thing you're going to see in Gamecock softball this year is the impact of the transfer portal. So I feel like we addressed the things we needed to address from the transfer portal in terms of getting some players with experience. We added some pop in the lineup with some bats, and also 2 additional arms in the circle, which I think is where we needed some assistance. So for me, I think the work ethic and the energy of this group is really positive and exciting. Our transfers have come in and meshed really well, and everybody's looking forward to a great 23 season.
Bev, you mentioned pitching. Obviously, you know that's where it really starts and ends. How is your pitching set up for this year, and do you feel like y'all have the dominant 1 or 2 pitchers to carry you through every weekend?
Yeah, I think a name you're going to be hearing a lot this year is Donnie Goburn. She's a transfer. She's a 5th-year transfer for us, and she throws heat. She's a high-velocity pitcher. I think she's going to do a great job coming in and closing games for us. So I think in terms of impact, she's going to have a great impact for us. Leah Powell is our returner that had the most innings last season. I think now that we added Donnie Goburn, we added Jory Hurd as a freshman, and I think now that'll eliminate some innings for Leah, so we're not going to wear her out quite as much. But we still have veteran pitching from Rachel Vaughn, Bailey Bettenbaugh, and Carson Oaks as well. So I just think we'll be able to better manage that group and really highlight their talents.
Coach, when we spoke a while back, you talked about some position battles and how maybe some injuries early in the fall kind of helped you realize what kind of depth you've had. Are there still some positions that you don't know who your starters would be on opening day, or are you still working that out?
I think one of the things that's going to be the key to the season is how healthy we can stay, right? I'm excited about a healthy Zoe Leno, right? She's been injured for the last 2 seasons and really gives us a lefty power threat at the plate. So to me, if we can keep Zoe healthy, that's going to be some pop we have at the plate. Haley Simpson has been out for the last 2 seasons with various injuries, and she's back. And if we can keep her in the lineup, that's going to be key. But it's the same thing for avoiding injuries for the players. But if we can keep our current group healthy, I'm going to have a lot of issues with making out the lineup because I do think we've got really good depth. And like I said, we've got a good balance in terms of players who can run and adding the pop to the lineup as well.
Bev, you just mentioned the transfer portal. How has the portal changed your approach, your strategy when it comes to building your team and also going after players for specific needs?
Yeah, the transfer portal is it's here to stay. And I think as coaches, it can be exciting, and I think we'd be a good example of that we had some deficiencies that we needed to fill, and we were able to go out and do that in the transfer portal. So I say to our players all the time, you get 4 years to play, right? How do you want those 4 years to look? So for some players, they stay at an institution 4 years and you have the entire experience. For others, if they're not finding what they're looking for, they get the opportunity to go other places. So I'm really excited about the 4 that joined us this year. I think all 4 transfers are going to start for us in our lineup. And I also think it takes a lot of courage to leave your situation. So we've got a group of young women who said, hey, I'm looking for something different in my 4 years, and we're really glad they joined our group. But the transfer portal as a coach allows you to add really anything you need to your roster, anything you think you're looking for. It allows you to add experience. So it does give you an opportunity to do that. Of course, there's negative sides to the transfer portal. I think you have to continue to protect your best players, because a lot of people are getting poached. I don't know what word you want to use, encouraged to the transfer portal. So we're finding that it's an added layer of making sure you're continuing to recruit the players you have on your team as well.
Coach, with these additions to this team, what expectations do you have for the squad in the season?
I think our expectations are high. Just simple and easy. We want to be back in the postseason. For us to be out of postseason last year was disappointing. For us, we always want to finish in top of the league. Our goal is to host regionals, and we've fallen short the last 2 seasons. So for us, it's our mind is set on postseason. For me personally, it's about the seniors. You're going to get to meet a great group, two of our seniors here, that they go out on top, and I want them to finish their senior seasons having no regrets.
Hey, Coach, you talk about all the personnel changes, the new additions, super exciting, but what kind of maybe change in mindset do you think you guys are going in with this season?
I think that's the interesting part of adding such a new group. We have a group of 5 freshmen, 4 transfers, and another graduate transfer came in. We had really a whole new group. So one of our focuses at the beginning of the season was, how do you get these 25 players on the same page so quickly, which goes to another challenge of the transfer portal. Every year is kind of its own year. So we just talked about it the other day. What is it that this group can accomplish if you set your heart and mind to it? And this group is locked in, and I think they believe in each other. They believe in their preparations and the things that we're doing in practice. So I'm thrilled to see where this season takes us.
Bev, with the transfers, you always have to keep an eye on the freshmen as well. So you bring in a transfer and pretty much you say that they're going to start. How does that impact freshman development? You work them in when you can. Have you sat down with each of the freshmen and said, this is what we got to do for this year? Just how do they take it when a transfer comes in?
Yeah, I think for our freshmen, I think one thing our staff has done very well is communicated depth, roles, where you stand. Certainly we're a staff that believes in player development. So we really meet everybody where they are. So really the freshmen understanding where they're at now, where they need to do better to get in the lineup to be where they are. But certainly if somebody was ready to go, they could be in competing as a starter. But like I said, it's a 4-year commitment from us, and we know that we can develop the players and get them ready to play and compete in the SEC.
Coach, which players have you seen make great strides in practices this offseason?
Quite a few. For us, Jordan Fabian, who you'll hear from a little bit, is a great example of what player development looks like. Right, as you reflect back as a coach, what they look like coming in as a freshman, and now what they look like 4 years later. I think you can look at a Jordan Fabian for us. She's somebody who's now just fine-tuning the details of her craft, but I certainly expect her to lead our team this year. Certainly a lot of our returners are having to learn some some new things and some new skills with a new offensive philosophy. Riley Blampede for us led the team in doubles. I'm expecting to see things from Riley in terms of improvement. But probably the biggest one for me would be AJ White. AJ White has really found her stride, I think, coming into her junior season, and had a great fall for us, and I expect her to do great things for us in the spring.